Don't you want it? 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 You lose your little mind. 5, 10.
Minisode. Welcome to the Deadlights podcast. Mini. I'm your host, Mini Sam.
And I'm Mini Leslie, bringing you your mini episode.
Guess what? We have Mini Zach on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's... Oh, my gosh. You're huge.
Zach.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
There you go.
Well, that's backwards. Zach.
There. Yep.
Yeah.
For the audience.
Nice.
Yeah. Welcome, Zach. Thank you for joining us on the Minisode.
Of course, thank you.
Kind of wanted to just talk to you a little bit about what you got going on right now, because I know you're releasing a lot of music.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. What, first of all, is the artist name that we should all be looking up on Spotify?
There's a couple. Right now, I'm releasing Kang, which is my rapper persona that I've used for the past, 10 years.
Love that. Very Bible-esque.
That I'm going to be doing 3 albums, which the 3rd album is one that I recently wrote and recorded a couple years ago. So that one's going to be the final one, and I think that persona is going to kind of be put to rest for a little bit. Then there's also MK, which is a group that I did as Kang with my friend Keenan when I moved up here. And then there's also Metaphorical Oracles, which is with my friend Jackson, who does all of, my graphic design stuff as well. He goes by the name Sea Bear.
Oh.
So that's going to be
Cute.
one of the things moving forward, especially we do a little bit more freeform funny stuff, but trying to get a little more serious with that, which that will be the final album in this whole cycle that I'll be releasing is one with him. And then moving forward from that, I will be releasing music as Stupid Fingers, which I'm going to kind of just make music as I see fit. It's going to be multi-genre, collaborative stuff with other people, and yeah, so there's a lot of content.
So you've been working on some of this stuff for how long?
I started making music 16, so...
And now you're 53,
years.
so wow. It's a long time.
It really flies by quickly.
And did you release anything on SoundCloud? Yeah.
I did when I first started. I really liked rapping. I think it was the easiest form of writing for me. So what I would do is I would take other people's beats and just write my own stuff over that. I actually have one that I put on SoundCloud that I rapped over an Atmosphere beat that has 9,000 views.
Ooh.
Which nothing ever came of that, so that's useless to me.
Atmosphere didn't reach out and be like, hey.
I'm like, what the hell, slug?
What the hell?
And then I used Bandcamp for a while for a lot of my own independent stuff. And again, it was I put it up as free download stuff just to get it out there. I never expected anything to come of that. But
So why now? Why are we releasing all this stuff now?
Mostly because I want to move on from the stuff that I've done in the past. I want to kind of get it out of my system officially. Especially over the years, I've learned a lot more about mixing and mastering and producing and stuff. So what I wanted to do was go back to the beginning and just remaster all this stuff that I had that sounded fine to begin with, but now that I have more knowledge, it was really cool to go back and reopen those files, make them sound the way they should have sounded back then, and now that I can put them out and be proud of the content instead of just being I hope people don't make fun of me for this.
I mean, putting yourself out there is very vulnerable because, you are talking about some things that are close to your heart and projects that are close to your heart. Do you find yourself, did you find yourself in this moment going back there and, wanting to, rewrite a lot of things as opposed to, working with what you had?
There's definitely stuff looking back where I'm this might be a little silly or cringy, and I would love to redo it. But at the same time, I was really blown away by the time capsule effect that I was having. Whereas I was going back to these songs that I'd written when I was 18 years old and seeing how different I am now as opposed to I was then. And it's I was so carefree and this is all just fun and games. And then it slowly became very depressing. And then now...
Poor little Kang.
Right?
Yeah, that means 16-year-old
Mini
is...
Kang.
Little Kang.
Yeah, tender little place.
Yeah.
So how did you recorded this? Obviously, a long time ago. Was it the producer that came to you and was like, "Yo, we should go back to these songs," or was it you who kind of made the choice to revisit some of these things?
I did everything. I produced all of this music.
Wow.
myself.
Okay. Never mind. We don't need a
Nice.
So a
producer.
little bit of both, a little from column A and B. So yeah, it was just a way for me to practice the things that I've learned and just make them sound the way they always should have sounded.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's pretty cool.
That's great.
I like that.
Yeah. And so now that you've gone and revisited a lot of the stuff that you've made previously, how does that inform going forward? Like, do you feel like your music, going back and listening to yourself at 16, how does that compare to yourself now when you're 56?
oh, it's a lot more difficult to wake up in the morning. It's the workflow for stuff that I've been working on new music-wise is a lot quicker. I think I spent a lot of time. Most of the albums that I put out before would take 2 years plus for me to make, and like in terms of writing and making the beats, just because I didn't really know what I was doing, I'd kind of throw it all together and then make the best of what I could. But now it's like I know how to work in a way that I can kind of piece everything together while I'm writing, while I'm mixing, EQing stuff, while I'm coming up with, I think this idea should go here, and then I'll have a separate file over here to make something else, and then bring it all together at the end. It's yeah, I've definitely mastered like my own workflow creatively.
Okay, because I didn't know that you were also producing these things and rapping on them. You already started talking about it, but like, how does that make you approach a song in a different way? Because you have full control over the lyrics and the production behind it. How does that make you think about a song differently when you're going into it?
It changes with every song. I know anybody that makes music that you talk to would say the same thing, where it's like,
Sure.
They're like, oh, do you start with the lyrics? Do you start with the drums? Like, it's just, sometimes I'll think of just one line of lyric and just write it down, and that'll start the whole thing, and then I can think of what this beat should sound like over that. Or it'll be like, I'll be searching through loops and samples online, and I'll just hear one little note, and that'll spark like a whole thing too.
That's pretty cool.
Just wherever the inspiration comes from at the time, I guess.
That's cool.
Not to compare you to Taylor Swift, but like,
I
yeah,
basically am Taylor Swift.
you are Taylor Swift.
In fact, that is me in a suit. A skin
On
suit.
a skin suit, I knew it. That motherfucker, right?
I am a sexy baby.
It's me. Hi, I'm in a skin suit.
No, because like I saw like in the middle of her like and this is what I think is so fascinating with just musician and artists that like dive into this work, is that y'all can like sometimes hear a whole song before you compose it. And that's a really I to me I think it's a superpower.
Thank you.
But yeah,
We have
it's
a
really
superhero on the
freaking cool. Wow.
That's awesome.
No, it is, because you're just like, I don't know anything about that world, So all I do is consume it. So to me, yeah, it's so otherworldly, and I am very happy to, for people to be able to dive into these things and make really great music, which your album that you like put out is really good.
Thank
It's
you so
really
much.
good.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, because we are on the film side of things, you're more on the music side. Do you feel though, like as a musician, you can also see more so like the film process too? Like, I guess like I'm trying to ask like different art forms being connected to each other. Like, you're a musician mostly, but do you find the music in film as well?
Oh, 100%. That's one of the first things I kind of notice when I watch a movie is like, how does the music set the tone? Because you can put in a different music or a different song over a scene, and it can completely change how the scene works.
Have you guys seen those videos?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like making Harry Potter scary or
Sexual.
whatever. Sexual.
Making The Shining a rom-com. Yeah. Climbing up on Salisbury Hill.
It's almost like one of the most important aspects of setting the tone of a scene, because I think music is such a primitive thing that we can connect to. Mm-hmm. It just like it touches us to our core in a way.
Or
can
it's
change
like,
your emotion.
yeah, it's used to kind of just like have your heart beat faster just because there is like a little sound wave that's coming by and you're not picking it up, but your body is,
Right.
you know? So
That
that's
was a lot in Texas Chainsaw Massacre when we watched
Do you? All right, thinking back on the music that you made in the last 10 years or so, is there one that you've revisited and you're like, oh shit, damn, this is really good?
Actually, yeah, there's one this one's always kind of had a special place for me. It's the one that I don't know when this will air, but it's gonna release this Friday,
August 11th?
11th.
Cool.
Yes. It's called Apart and Apart, where it's like a part and apart.
Oh, okay.
The idea basically was I was really in a very bad place in my life, depression. Recently, I'd found out that I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder, which is like the lows are extremely low and the highs are just like barely above normal. And I was kind of dealing with that and isolating myself and feeling like I was a part of the world, but also apart from the world. So, you know, I think as a cliche, when you're upset, you make better songs, I think, you know.
or if you're like in that vulnerability.
Pain fuels creativity.
Yeah.
This one's always had a really special place for me. It actually has in it my favorite song that I think I've ever made. I don't know, it's the tone of it just fits exactly what I was feeling, and I look back on that and remember that, but also look back on it in a I've come so far from there type of way. So that's kind of cool. Because I think I made that one 2015-ish time. So I'm really excited for that one to come out.
Yeah, that's when I moved to Tucson. Were you in Tucson?
No, I was in Flagstaff.
You were in Flagstaff?
I had just moved back from Tucson at that point.
Oh, damn.
When this airs, it'll be out, so check it out.
Hell
And much, much
yeah.
more.
Apart and Apart. And now that we're, you know, kind of in the realm of mental illness and creativity, do you feel that it has helped you, I don't know, process things about being bipolar and expressing it?
100%.
Yeah.
It's such a cliche to say, but it is like a therapy almost. I've never been extremely open with a lot of people most of the time, but I can be open with the page. And almost using this persona as my, I don't know how the best way to say it, my dumpster for all this negative emotion.
An outlet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a thing.
It's great.
Separate myself from this and be like, this is Kang feeling those things, not
Interesting.
me.
So, okay, now bringing it back to where we started this interview, Kang is going away for a little bit. What was the decision behind that?
Mostly because I think I've spent so much time using that as my name, but nothing's come of it, and I have different ideas of what I'd like to make going forward that just don't fit that. I'm not saying that I would never do something with him again. Technically, with this new group that I'm doing with my friend, Metaphorical Oracles, I will still be Kang in that thing. But yeah, the stuff that I want to do just doesn't quite fit that, and I think it's just time to move on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Be somebody
Putting
different.
him in the shelf. Yeah.
He'll be up there.
Bring
You
it
can
back some other time.
exactly.
Rest the-
It's
rest
like
the dust
it's
off.
like a book or a
Here he
movie.
is.
There's Kang.
Oh,
He loves dairy.
he loves
He
dairy.
fucking loves dairy. I think that's great, and you know, it kind of allows you to again have that chapter marker too, with all these things and all these different personas. A little more fun question: who are some of the musical influences that you really like? Who are people that you listen to?
So many things.
I guess nowadays, because I'm sure it has changed over the years of you making music.
It has changed a lot.
So how about nowadays, where you really find the inspiration?
I'm really getting into like old indie stuff again. I
Oh.
love the Shins. I've been pulling a lot from Danger Mouse,
Oh, nice.
producer. Pretty much anything he's done.
Yeah.
Sparkle Horse, Broken Bells, like all that stuff.
I was gonna say Broken Bells. But it's also the shins. It's the shins. Yeah.
A lot of that. I just like his style of producing. I think that's been on repeat right now, because it can kind of fit over any genre. Especially he's done stuff that's rap, that's indie, he produced Demon Days by Gorillaz, like. So a lot of that. If I go back to like
fun. I mean, I'm wearing noodle.
Hello.
Hello.
I always love Atmosphere.
Yeah, it's great.
MF Doom's really great.
Oh, we've been revisiting a lot of MF Doom stuff as of lately, and people making tributes to MF Doom. What a fucking
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. baby. R.I.P. Yeah. Well, that's great. That's great. And then how about the future? What's going on? Are you making music now, or are you just kind of releasing what you have?
Mostly releasing what I have. I'm still working on finishing the final touches on a couple old things, and then I'm working on the mixing and mastering of an album that I made with my friend Jackson. I went and visited him in Ohio, and we kind of sequestered ourselves in a house for a week and a half, and made a 10-song album. So I'm going to be working on that. That's going to come out on November 3rd.
November 3rd.
Which there will be a lot of kind of mixed media stuff for that too. We actually recorded a couple episodes of our own podcast to kind of talk about that whole process. We filmed a little documentary of the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
If you follow me on Stupid Fingers, I will be posting links to all that as it comes.
Wow. Very cool. And you get to look into like the process almost. Very cool.
It's really weird to look at it from the outside after being like entrenched in it for so long.
Yeah.
Are you editing that?
He's doing all the editing.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So that's kind of his realm. We're in the talks of trying to make kind of like a multimedia thing where, I offer music, audio side of stuff. He does a lot of video and photo editing. We'd like to try and like move into different realms of artistic creation.
That's
forward.
fun.
Yeah,
that's fun. I mean, I hope it's fun for you guys too. Because I think
it's
that's
frustrating, but it's so great.
For sure. But
You
hopefully,
learn so much.
hopefully, when it comes out and you see the reactions of people, it somewhat makes it worth it.
It does.
And
I'm
if
getting
not,
a lot of love, and it's
great.
I gotta go write a song.
Well, where can we find this stuff?
You can find me on Instagram. It'll be _stupid_fingers_. I'll have a link in the bio, link tree for all the artists on Spotify and Apple Music. And if whatever streaming services you have, you can just look me up on there. I'm on pretty much everything as far as I'm aware.
Nice.
Yeah.
Unless
Very
someone
cool.
kicked you out.
Whatever. If they're trying to kick you
Booted
out,
you
fuck
out.
those
No, I'm
people.
just-
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't need those people.
I'll find another way.
Kang always
I will
finds a
come
way.
back.
Or all the other artists that you go under. Wow. Well,
Nice.
cool. Thank you so much for being on the
Yay.
podcast
Thanks
and
for having me.
for making music, and the stuff that you've been coming out with is great. And it's crazy to think that this is stuff that probably came out 10 years or that you made 10 years ago. So I'm excited to see what comes out
I know, me too.
of the modern Zach.
So
wait
this
to share it.
Friday, November 3rd.
Every Friday for the next 3 weeks.
Oh,
And then a couple interspersed between then and November.
that's cool.
Great.
Well, thank you
Awesome.
so much for sharing.
Thank you
Yeah.
for having me, as always.
Yes.
Appreciate it, Zach. Thank you.
Well, you can follow me on Instagram, Color Me Leslie.
And me at BeatBeatBritchT. You can find us at the Deadlights Pod, and also check out Playground Social, which is the studio that we're recording this at.
Yeah. Here.
But until next minisode, let's get mini spooky. I'm so tiny, but Zach is regular size.
Sorry about it.